So we need to create a frame which will give us kind of like an artboard in Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, or XD. And to create a frame, we're going to go to this icon here, the frame tool, and I click on that, and it gives me an option of different frame sizes over here. So it could provide a frame that would be the size of an iPhone if I wanted to create something that would be on an iPhone, uh, a desktop uh, size, and we will be using this later when we get into designing the wireframe for our website. And then we could do paper sizes and social media sizes. And in fact, I want to go down to the social media size because for this particular tutorial, I want you to choose Dribble Shot. It's 400 by 300, and this is going to be what I'd like to work on. So we're going to click there. It's a nice small area, and for this tutorial we are going to be talking about a logo, and so we want to have it about the size as a good size for it to be. Okay, so we have an artboard or frame. I mean, technically Figma calls it a frame, but you'll probably hear me call it an artboard. And now we need to start including some elements on here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a shape tool. If I click on the little caret next to it, you'll see I can pick all different kinds of shapes. I'm just going to pick a rectangle here, and I am going to draw a rectangle. And I'm going to make this about maybe kind of approximately that size. Okay, and then I'm going to I'm going to be making 3 rectangles. So instead of drawing out 3 different rectangles, I am simply going to duplicate it. And what I'm going to do is on a Mac computer, I am going to click Command D. Command D, and that has duplicated my section, and now I can just drag it down here, and I'm going to do that one more time, Command D, and click it down there. Okay, so now I have 3 squares here, and I can, if I pick one up, I can move it, and you'll notice that this program is helpful for telling us how far apart it is, like this middle one is from the top and the bottom. And if right now it's 17 pixels of space in between each one, so that means it's nicely spaced, it's even. And if I move it up, well, I no longer am at the 17, but it tells me when I'm centered. So that's great to know about it. Now I don't want these to be all the same color for what I'm working on. So I am going to click this bottom one, and I want to change the color of this one. If I go over to the right side, you can see it has a fill right now, and it's this gray color. I'm going to click on that, and I can manipulate this top rainbow color bar into a type of color that I like, and I tend to like the kind of fuchsias and purples, so we're going to go here, and I am going to pick maybe kind of a dark pink here. And you'll notice here is a transparency bar where I can make it actually so it disappears essentially, or I can have it that full color. I'm going to keep it at 100% here, and so I have this, which is great. And what I can do at this point, if I like this color, this is the hex uh, code in which this tells us what color it is. I could copy and paste this somewhere so I remember, or I could add it to a style. And so if I go over to fill here, I click press. I'm sorry, that's not actually what I wanted to do. If I go over here and I click color style, and now I click plus. Now I can call this fuchsia. Okay, so we got that. We have fuchsia. That's good. And this one, let's go over here, and I also want to change this color. I am going to, let's see if I go back into this area. I don't want it to be the same. Really, I want it to be, this one, we'll have it be a lighter. And there we go. I'll stick with that. And so I'm good with that. And then let's say I want to create a new style with this. So let me click, and I'm going to call this Orchid. And I'm going to create that style. And then this one, again, I can make the choice of what do I want to do with this, and go back into my basic palettes here, and let's say I want to get a very light one, and that, and now of course I could just click on one of these and it would turn one of these colors once I've clicked this color styles here, so I could do this, but I don't want to. So I'm actually going to back up. So I just did Control or Command Z so that I just undid what I had done. And now I want to make this into a new color style. So I'm going to click, and I'm going to call this one, I don't know, Lilac. All right, so now I have these three colors here, and you can make them any color you want in this tutorial. These are just the colors I chose. All right, next thing we are going to do is we are going to put a text box here. And what I just did, just so you know, I just grabbed each one and I just moved it so they were all together. And before we do the text box, excuse me, let me click on all of these. So I just clicked on one and then I held down shift and clicked on the others. Let's make sure they're all lined up, and I can come over to the top over here, and I can make sure that they're all aligned and that they are. So now they are, because when I do it by hand, if I did it by hand I might be slightly off, and then if I do this I can get them all aligned nicely. Okay, so we're going to do that. And let me just put it there. It's now centered. Figma will show me this red line to show me that now that middle one is in the center. So we're in good shape here. Now let's go to the text box. I'm going to grab a text box here, and I am going to draw it out like that. And for this tutorial, I'd like you to take your name. Let's do your first name on this one. And I'm going to do another text box and do a last name down here. And I could either click on my text box here, do that Command D and drag it down, and that just duplicates it, or I could have just drawn a new text box. Either way. Now let's try to make this a little bit more like a logo. So what I'd like to do is we go over here and we can see that we have text here. This gives us our font choices. If right now it's enter font, and that's not exactly what I want. So I have all these fonts to choose from. Now the problem with these fonts is that they don't have a preview. You don't know what it's going to look like till you actually click on it. So I can't see automatically what it's going to look like. But I tell you what, I'm going to make this font bigger because it's hard to see. So let me just put it at a 32 so I can see a little bit better for the moment. Okay, I don't actually like Jolly Roger, so we're not going to do that. I am going to actually go to a font that I like. It's in the K, so let me go over here, Keimer, and it's a good basic sans serif font. Oops, and here I need to put my last name, and I am going to do the same thing. I'm going to make it the Keimer. font, and 36, is that what this one was? 32. Okay, so we'll make this 32. And if you've clicked inside the box, like here, and you do the change of size, it will only work if you have it highlighted, or if I click off of it and then it's in a box here, now I can make that change for the whole box. So either highlight it if you've already clicked in the box, or just have the box selected like that. Okay, so this isn't a very attractive font though for a logo exactly. I need to have something that I think would be a little bit more decorative, but not the whole thing. And so I'm going to do just the first letters, a little bit more decorative. I think that could be kind of fun. So I'm going to go to Yellowtail. This is one that I know is kind of decorative, and I'm going to do that. I'm also going to go down here and go with Yellowtail as well for that one. Now I need to do more to this because it doesn't look right, and one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to make that first letter bigger. And I probably didn't do that the same size, did I? So that was 48. Actually, I think I like this one better, which is a 64. So let's go back over here and we'll do this one at the 64. And other things I can do, let's say I want these to be about the same width, although this is 5 letters and this is 3. So what can I do? I could take the EJAN and uh, I can change how close it is to each other. So this is for letter spacing right here. And I could put it to be -10. So now these letters are closer together. And they're still readable. We're getting closer to that size. And over here, I could spread the letters out a bit more. So let me try 10. It helps a little bit, but here I think I'll include that too. I'm going to do 15, see if that works better. We're getting closer. I might try 20. Now we're a little closer there. And I might do something like to see here. This is the Chimer I have in a regular font. If it was bold, I might do bold here. But it doesn't offer me the option of doing bold. Here's where you would often find if they had bold or italic. I could add a stroke to it instead, which almost is like that, so it's a little more weight to it. So let's go with that for the moment. I'm going to click off of these because I want to get them closer together. And I'm also going to take this and I'm going to make it, this box, kind of as small as it can be to fit my box, my letters here. That will make it easier for me to work with. Okay, here I'm also going to make this box smaller. All right. Do one. Okay, we're good here. Now I'm going to kind of put this one so that the middle of the M is kind of in the middle of these, where these two boxes are, is kind of what I want. And I'm going to go like that, and I'm going to go here and put this M where it's kind of like that. Now, if I wanted this to be a logo, right now it doesn't look really proportional, so another thing I could do is maybe take this to that line height there, take this one, move it to like something like that. And let me check what the size of this box is. So if I click on here, I can go over here and see it's 43 inches high. What about this one? This one's 45 inches high. So I could just click in here And let's say I want them both the same size and I like the 43 better. Now they're the same size. And now I see actually maybe I want that there. I can just kind of play around with what I think, and I can change the sizes, make them bigger. And I look at this and I think I don't like that M with the stroke. I like the OE with the stroke, but this one, let's take the stroke off of that, and I think I like it better. Okay, so this is our first tutorial in this, and so just so we have these boxes, we have words, we've looked at some of the different things you can do here. Last thing I would like to show you, and if we select the entire artboard here, I can do some other things that are helpful. As I look at this, though, I'm noticing that we have all this white space around here, and it's not really working for us. It's just kind of space that isn't being utilized very well for our artboard. So I'm going to go ahead and select all of my elements here. I've just clicked and then pressed Shift and continued clicking till I got it all. I'm going to go up here, and we've been using the Move tool so far, and that's where we can just move it from one place to the other. But now I'm going to select the scale tool because now I am going to make this larger. So I am going to scale this to fit the artboard. So and let's see, I may have scaled it. Okay, I'm good with the top and the bottom. And as I scale it, I do see a problem here that these need to be moved over. So I am going to now I'm going to go back to the Move tool, and I'm going to just select these two. I'm going to put them over here, decide how I like that, and now as I look at it, I think I want it to go down just a little bit more. All right, so I think I'm going to go with that. All right, so here I have my basic logo design.